Time now for Want to Bet. Let's get to our Big Five predictions of the week. And we're going to start with the Broncos in Cleveland. Line is 4.5 in that game. Who do you got?
You know, Cleveland is so banged up right now with all those injuries, particularly.
20, Moj. They got 20 guys on the preliminary injury report on Monday.
As much as I want to say Denver has been exposed the last few weeks, just those injuries right now. I mean, 4.5. I think Cleveland might win this one, but they might eke it out, so I'll take the Broncos and the points.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Broncos to win this game. I'm going to take the Broncos to cover as well. They've only given up 204 passing yards per game on the road so far this season. I think those injuries, doesn't look like OBJ is going to play. Jarvis Landry probably does play, but you've got Myles Garrett that's injured right now. You've got Baker Mayfield with the non-throwing shoulder that dislocated for the second time. He says he's hurting, but he's going to try to gut it out. It's going to be the perfect opportunity for Denver's defense to flex their muscle. I'll take the Broncos, and they're going to win and cover. Meanwhile, the Chiefs favored by 4.5 in Tennessee. This could be setting up to go the other way.
Yeah, you know what, though? The Titans had a lot of injuries in the secondary, so that doesn't bode well for Patrick Mahomes. With Patrick Mahomes coming to town, if this is a track meet, I'm sorry, the Titans can't keep up. I'll take the Chiefs in this one, minus 4.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs too, but I'll tell you this. I think Kansas City wins. I think Tennessee winds up covering because they're going to wind up being able to still possess the ball. The way Derrick Henry's playing right now and as bad as that Chiefs run defense is, I think Tennessee's going to stay in this right until the end. But when it comes time to make a play, I think the second half Kansas City's been able to adjust. They'll win this game. I'm also taking the over, but I do think that Tennessee is going to be able to cover. Cincinnati at Baltimore, Ravens favored by 6.5.
Look at you taking overs and unders now. See, people, I've got him hooked. Now he's going to be doing props and first half bets and everything. I'll take the Ravens in this one. They're playing such great football right now, and as we mentioned earlier, you're talking about their defense as well. Their defense is contributing. I'll take the Ravens minus 6.5 at home.
Yeah, the fact that they were able to do what they did to Justin Herbert, I think they're going to be able to do that to Joe Burrow. I just think that the Chargers' offense is so much more complete right now. I like what Joe Mixon brings to Cincinnati's run game, but what they were able to do this past week, I think they're going to find it easier to do, and they're not going to look past Cincinnati. It's a divisional game, So yeah, I'm taking the Ravens to win. I'm taking the Ravens to cover. Meanwhile, San Francisco favored by 3.5 at home against the Colts. I got Indianapolis.
I'll take San Francisco. We're
really
going to disagree on this one. I like San Francisco at home. I know they've got issues at quarterback, but they've got so much talent around in terms of defense and offense around that quarterbacking. I'll take the 49ers minus 3.5.
Look, I know they won against the Texans, so it's not saying much, but it was a complete offensive performance. 223 yards and 2 touchdowns by Carson Wentz. You got the running game with Jonathan Taylor, 145 yards, 2 touchdowns on his own right there. The previous week, Wentz with a 300-plus yard passing game against Baltimore. I think that offense is starting to come around. I'm going to take the Colts. And who knows what San Francisco's got at quarterback. You've got Jimmy G that's still injured. You've got Trey Lance, who was injured and had to miss Monday's practice this week. He's got the knee injury. Jimmy G's still dealing with with the calf, I should say. So a lot of questions in San Francisco. I'm taking the Colts to win on the road. New Orleans favored by 3 in Seattle.
Saints, people, I think you look at Seattle's defense and everyone's saying, well, they played much better defensively against Pittsburgh. It's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has had issues all year long on offense. I will take the Saints in this one. Again, if this becomes some sort of a shootout, Seattle becomes one-dimensional, and Geno Smith has to win you a football game, I don't see it happening.
Well, meanwhile, on the other side, you've got Jameis Winston, 505 passing yards, his TD to interception ratio 5-1 in the last 2 football games, and Sean Payton's starting to get confident in him, so he's adding more to his plate offensively. So I think Jameis Winston's due for a stinker. I think the crowd gets involved. The only thing I don't know is how Seattle's going to move the ball, because it's going to come down to Geno, as you mentioned, and they might not have Alex Collins in the run game because he's pretty banged up coming out of that last game. Can DJ Dallas handle the load? I certainly don't believe Rashad Penny can. He's supposed to come back off the injured list this week. I'm not, I'm nervous there, but I do think Jameis Winston's going to have a bad football game, and
you're a Jameis Winston fan, and now you're saying he's going to have a bad football game?
Yeah, he's got to show me a complete body of work. He hasn't done that yet. So I'm going to take the Seahawks probably just so I can be a contrarian with you, because that's important to do every once in a while.
Okay.
All right.
Trey Brown, by the way, good game for the Seahawks. We'll talk about that another time.
All right, where are we going to next? Let's see. We have got our Survivor pool. What do you got?
You got a lot. You took a loss last week.
I know I did, so I should only pick one game.
Oh, you can pick 2. I don't care. You can do whatever you do because, you took a loss last week. You've kind of been eliminated on one ticket, but you can keep going. I've got 2 picks. I'm going to take the Rams over the Lions. Why not? Matt Stafford against his old team. And the other one I'm going to take is Cardinals over the Texans. 2 gimmies. And I'm still alive here with 2 tickets through 6 weeks.
All right, so look, I'm just going to pick on one because I got to be fair about this. So I'm going to take the Bucks over the Bears. There's just no way they're going to be able to slow down that high-octane offense. I know the game's in Chicago. I don't think it matters. Tom Brady's pretty comfortable on the road. He doesn't own Chicago the way Aaron Rodgers owns Chicago, but he's going to own them this week, so the Bucks win that one.
I just want to know, how come you keep you pick the Bucks like every
No, I have it on my list. I go through the list.
Okay.
Michael tells me you can't pick this, so I don't pick that.
Okay.
The other one would be Dolphins over Falcons if you tell me I can't pick the Bucks, but I know the Bucks weren't on my list.
All right, take the Bucks.
All right. Fantasy, start and sit. Who do you got?
Fantasy start and sits. Hey, what about, some of the picks we gave the last couple of weeks? Not bad. This week, I'm going to go with Ernest Johnson of the running back with the Cleveland Browns. Hunt is out with a calf. Chubb's out with a calf. So look for him as a pickup. Ricky Seals-Jones, tight end with the Washington football team. 2 catches, 12 yards, 2 TDs on the season. Logan Thomas, he's out for a while. So if you're looking at tight end, maybe there's some productivity there.
Meanwhile, for me, I'm going to take Ryan Tannehill because they're playing the Kansas City Chiefs defense. And look, I still think the Chiefs are going to find a way to win that game. But Tannehill, since week 2, it's been against Seattle, it's been a bit of a mixed bag for him. He had a solid outing last night. The Chiefs are allowing the second most fantasy points to a quarterback, 24.95, and their complete focus is going to be on Derrick Henry in this game. So, lower end QB1, right? But I think he could get you some points as a starter. Also for me, Zach Ertz, the newest tight end for the Arizona Cardinals. He is a tight end. He's a starting tight end for them now. That hasn't happened for him for a while in Philadelphia. The guy's been playing well so far this season, and Cliff Kingsbury's made a real big point of trying to integrate the tight end into that offense. So I think he's in a really good position to come in and have an early impact. I think Zach Ertz could do something for you.
Zach Ertz, I think, just another weapon for Kyler Murray as well. How scary is this offense going to be once they get him involved and once he becomes familiar with it?
Who are you going to sit?
I'm going to sit Kadarius Toney. I told you to pick him up. Now he bangs up his ankle. 23 catches, 317 yards on the season, but an ankle injury against the Rams. So I'd like to have him healthy against KC, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Baker Mayfield, sit him. He's banged up. He's got all those injuries around him. Not sure what's going on with his receiving core. And as I mentioned, playing one of the top defenses in the league in the Broncos that have been very good against the pass, particularly on the road. So I'm taking Baker Mayfield to sit and watch. Here's the other thing with Mayfield. He's finished as a QB1, which means essentially in the top 12. He's done that just once, which was back in week 5, and he's ranked as low as a QB 18 or worse 5 times this season, so probably not a good pick at the best of times, even worse now. I'm also sitting Tyler Lockett, given that situation.
Yeah, well, who's going to get him the football, right?
Yeah, absolutely.